How can you debug the JavaScript async call stack? Imagine trying to follow a trail of breadcrumbs that keeps shifting as you walk. Debugging asynchronous JavaScript can feel just like that, especially when errors pop up deep inside promises or async functions. Today, we're going to explore how to track down those tricky bugs in your async call stack and make your debugging process smoother. First, it's important to understand that asynchronous JavaScript runs in separate event loop cycles. This means the call stack you see at the moment of an error often doesn't show the full chain of function calls that led to it. Instead, async call stacks capture the point where an asynchronous operation was scheduled, not just when it was executed. This can make errors look like they appear out of nowhere, but with the right tools, you can see the entire flow. Most modern browsers like Chrome have built-in support for async call stacks. When you open Chrome DevTools, you can enable the Async checkbox in the call stack panel. This will show you the chain of asynchronous calls, including promises, timers, and event listeners, making it easier to trace where an error originated. Visual Studio and IntelliJ IDEA also provide features to visualize async call stacks, allowing you to see how different threads or tasks relate to each other, almost as if everything was happening in a single thread. Using breakpoints is another key step. Place them inside your async functions or callbacks. When the debugger hits these breakpoints, you can inspect variables and see the current call stack. This helps you understand how data is flowing through your code and where things might be going wrong. Remember, each await in an async function acts like a natural pause point, so setting breakpoints before and after awaits can reveal a lot about the execution flow. In Nodejs, async stack traces have been supported since version 12. They add extra information to error stacks, showing you where an awaited function was called from. This makes it much easier to pinpoint the source of errors in complex async chains. You can also add console logs with unique identifiers or timestamps to track async operations as they happen. This simple step can help you see the order of events, especially when logs come in out of sequence. Some developer tools allow you to evaluate variables from previous async frames. This means you can look into the state of your application at different points in the call stack without restarting your debugging session. For more advanced debugging, consider using utility functions or libraries that enhance async stack traces. These tools can help you see the full context of an error, especially when working with raw promises or complex async flows. When working with async await, each await creates a natural pause in your code. Modern debuggers can show you the chain of awaits leading to an error, helping you identify exactly where things went wrong. To make your debugging clearer, write meaningful names for your async functions instead of anonymous ones. This makes the call stack easier to read and understand. In summary, to effectively debug the JavaScript async call stack, enable async support in your debugging tools, set breakpoints inside async functions, use enriched stack traces especially in Nodejs, and combine these with good logging practices. This approach will help you see the full picture of your asynchronous code, making errors easier to find and fix. With these techniques, mastering async await debugging becomes much more manageable, and your code will become more reliable and easier to maintain.